Alright guys, we are doing solving one-step equations again. This is part 2. You're going to see some problems. You probably did this at home, but I'm still going to do this for you so we know how to actually do multiplication and division problems in equations. So, as we remember from previous lesson, part 1, to find a solution or a value for the unknown, we have to isolate the variable. And isolating the variable means we have to do the inverse operation, which is the opposite operation. Let's see how we can do. I'm going to work on this. This is question number 1. Let's make this question number 2. Alright. Question number 1 says 1/7 t is equal to 3. Now we have to identify the coefficient and identify the variable. In this case, our variable is t, our coefficient is 1/7, and one more thing that we have to identify is the operation that's being performed on this equation. The operation looks like it's multiplication. Alright, so if it's multiplication, the inverse operation is division. Good, so we have to do division. So, what does this mean? If 1/7 is the coefficient, I have to multiply by the reciprocal of 1/7. The reciprocal of 1/7 is 7 and 1 multiplied. Multiply both sides of the equation by 7/1. And what happens when I do this, this is a 1, let me make it clear. This 7 cancel each other, and 1 cancel each other. What happens on this side is 3 times 7 is 21, and this 1 is just like that. On this side we have a t. Now we have a solution or a value for t. It automatically gives you t is equal to 21. T is equal to 21. What's the next step in solving an equation? Once we have a value, we have to check our work. How do we check? Substitute. Alright, so let's substitute, which means I have a value. I have to insert that or substitute that in my original equation. 1/7 t is equal to 3. That's the original equation. And according to this equation, t is equal to 21. 1/7. Remember, this is a multiplication here, so I have to multiply. 21 is equal to 3. 7 cancels 21 is equal to 3, and 3 is equal to 3 from this side. So my solution or my value for my t variable works out, and my check is complete. If I have this as my final answer in the check, which means my value for t, my equation solving was correct, so I got a check mark for that too. Alright, I'm going to erase this so we can work on the other problem. To isolate, do the inverse operation. The inverse operation should be division, which means I'm multiplying by the reciprocal. Remember, multiplying by the reciprocal, which also means dividing by this number. So 5/4 multiplied by the original equation on both sides. What happens here? the beautiful thing, cancellation happens. 5 cancels 5, 4 cancels 4. I have a t which is equal to, now this side, 4 cancels 8 into 2 times. 4 goes into 8 2 times, and 2 times 5 is 10. I have an equation and I solved it to t is equal to 10. Next step is to check your work. To check your work, you have to substitute, see, the original equation. T is 10, this is multiplication here, equals to 8. Now if you're confused about a fraction and a whole number, you know the trick to do. You can put a 1 at the bottom and make it as a fraction. Now when you have fractions, you multiply the top and the top and the bottom and the bottom. Numerator with the numerator, that's going to give me 40. 5 times 1, denominator by the denominator is give me 5. Now I'm not done here because this is still a fraction. I can simplify. 5 goes into 40 8 times is equal to 8. So my solution checks out, which means my equation is correct. Good? Alright. Now you try these problems and please upload these answers to your notebook. Upload to notebook, classroom notebook. Remember the classroom notebook on Teams? You can upload it to classwork. So when you go to your Teams, you're going to see tabs like General, Posts, Files, and the Classroom Notebook. I'm just going to put Notebook here. So these are your tabs. You click on your class notebook and choose Classwork tab to do these problems. What you can do is, I know it will be hard for you to do it on the computer, so you solve it on a paper and upload the answers as follows. I'm going to erase all this. I'll upload this on the files section so you know which problems you have to do. This is going to be number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8. Now it does say one step, and yes, I am doing one step, but I'm actually multiplying by a fraction or the reciprocal of the fraction to solve the equation, so it becomes one step. Alright, so here are the problems. I'm going to leave it for a few minutes so it records, and I will upload these problems to Teams. So you're going to go to Classroom, Notebook, and put your answers, solutions on the Classwork tab. Good luck.